Hi, welcome to my blog for my school journey, my university journey. Um, Here is where I blog about my treaty journey for my ECCU class, treaties in the classroom, and then I also blog for ECOMP 355, which I will be blogging about today. So this is a video blog I'm going to do on my learning project. So as you can see, there's nothing found because I'm just starting. I've been thinking about this project for a while, and I eventually have decided to go with brush lettering, which is kind of an off of calligraphy, and it is also kind of a version of hand lettering. So I'm going to go into a great website that I found discussing the differences in calligraphy and hand lettering. Sorry, this is interesting. I'm just learning how to use Screencastify. Okay, so now I'm guessing you can see the Letter Lane hand lettering, calligraphy, and design blog. This blog is where I found the difference between hand lettering, calligraphy, and typography, and why it truly matters. So this lady is clearly very passionate about what she does, and she has made a business out of her calligraphy and hand lettering. So, the difference between hand lettering and calligraphy. So in this article, she kind of goes on to describe here in the calligraphy section that calligraphy involves using a dip pen with a nib, which I will not be using. She also says it's a muscle memory task. You're also just writing. So it's a fluid motion, and it involves different pressures of the pen, etc. And then she goes on to describing hand lettering. So she calls it faux calligraphy. So it uses the principles of the thick downstrokes and the light upstrokes, which is very consistent throughout all of the tutorials and pins I have seen. Thick downstrokes and light upstrokes are key. But it is written with a pen rather than a nib or ink. It also can be used with brush pens, which I will be using, hence brush lettering. Like calligraphy, hand lettering also requires discipline. It's a completely different form of discipline as it's drawing letters as opposed to writing them. So you're drawing the letters rather than just fluidly writing them. So you're going to be touching up different things, and it's more of a work of art rather than simply writing. So hand lettering is nice when you're working on large projects. She refers to things like a large chalkboard or other signage. And then she goes on to describe typography, which is fonts and typefaces that are used on the computer. Sometimes these can be confused because it seems like now there's a trend of digitalizing hand lettering and brush lettering. So that's something I'm very interested in and will be likely doing. So next, I was thinking about supplies. So I started my Pinterest board. Pinterest is one of my main things. So I'm going to castify the screen to you. So here's my Pinterest page. As you can see, I'm a little bit obsessed. I'm working on 7,373 pins. Not that that's necessary to outline, but I enjoy it. So I have many different boards. I use Pinterest a lot for my photography and different things, and helping collaborate with clients, as well as looking at school ideas for my teaching and etc. So I have created the Learning Project board. This is something I will put a link to in my blog post, so you can follow my ideas if you're interested. So I was looking at what supplies I should get. So I found this pin by Printable Crush. So this is some examples that she used, and I started seeing some trends. This is also my favorite, Tools for Brush Lettering by Dawn Nicole Designs. So she talks a lot about these Tombow markers, and that the Tombow markers seem to be the thing to use. So when I went to Michael's, guess who don't carry Tombow markers? They're expensive, and they're also really only available in the US. Like, I'm sure they're out there in Canada, but just not in our city in particular. So I didn't want to wait to order them, so I just went to Michael's, and I found they have a dual tip brush pen by Artist Loft. So then I was thinking, I wonder if the quality is similar, or if I'm going to be wasting my time and money. I want to make sure that I'm going to have a product that works well. So then I headed over to this blog by Pretty Prints and Paper. So here, Jessica Chung, as you can see in the sidebar here, does a video comparison of Tombow and Michael's Artist Loft dual brush pens. So she says dupe or dud. And in her video, she tests them out side by side, and they're actually very comparable. The only thing she was unsure of was the lasting time. So I decided to take the plunge and buy the 24 pack of Michael's brand Artist Loft pens. They were about $24 or $40 possibly. $40 I believe, and I had a 50% off coupon bonus. So they were fairly reasonable for 24 pens compared to the Tombow. Another tool that I also bought was this right here. This pen right here where my cursor is. It is called the Pentel Aquash brush. So this is a watercolor type brush pen. This is a brush tip. And inside you just add water. You can buy dyes such as the Dr. Fee dyes. They didn't have those at Michael's, and I had bought the pen, so I didn't really need to buy dyes. So what I bought it for was to just add water to it, and then use the watercolor. I used it to make a watercolor effect on my lettering, and I also did some watercolor drawings, which is something I'm also really interested in. So if we go back to my Pinterest, you can see all these different effects that people add to their lettering when they're finished. So there's these leaves and polka dots, some kind of a circle pattern. These watercolor cactuses, they don't look like they were done with brush pens, but I also did my own cactus brush pens, also giving your lettering a watercolor effect. So, just to finish up, I'm going to show you some Pinterest people or Instagram accounts that I follow. So Crystal Elizabeth, she has little videos of her doing her own brush lettering. She also has kind of the tools she uses, and she has an Etsy store. Check her out.